Hello, my name is David Ades. I am a certified professional life coach. Yes, just like everyone and their mom nowadays. However, I specialize in the recovery from narcissistic abuse, which makes me, yes, just like everyone and their mom nowadays. Joke aside, because it's the only joke that I have, today's video is about how I don't want to think about the narcissist anymore. I don't want to feel some type of way about them. I don't want to feel anything towards them. I'm tired of this. I'm done with this. I'm ready to move on. And to that I say, aren't we all? So how is this made possible? How is moving on made possible? How does one reclaim one's emotional investment from a sinking ship? Right? Your emotions are in this sinking ship called the narcissist, or the relationship with the narcissist, or kind of in yourself. It's like, to some extent, your heart turns into a sinking ship because, well, you're grieving. There's a lot of loss. There's the version of you before you met the narcissist. There's who you thought the narcissist was. It's the relationship that you thought existed. There are kind of many sinking ships. And the treasure that's on these sinking ships is your emotional investment. You invested a lot into these ships, and all of a sudden, catastrophe strikes. They're all sinking beneath the surface. This sucks to go through, but that's what loss is. It's this sucky thing to go through that you have to go through. You have to make it through the grieving process in order to have the emotions that you invested back. In order to get them back, you have to do the work of, I'm going to use a metaphor, that's why I'm hesitating, because I'm going to introduce this metaphor, of like going to find the treasure in the sinking ships and taking it back. So then you can reinvest those emotions in ships that hopefully won't end in catastrophe. But then again, you kind of never know, because that's life sometimes. Sometimes life becomes a sinking ship. Yet, you kind of, as long as you're alive, you have to keep playing the game, so to speak, of investing your emotions, of betting on different ships, different relationships, different projects, different ideas. You have to entertain the ships that spontaneously come up, like your own feelings, stuff in your body, stuff outside of you that you don't control. Life is like a bunch of passing ships, internally and externally, and the only way that you get through it to a gratifying extent, or in a gratifying way, I mean, is if you kind of play the game on investing, on which ships you like, and just trying to stay away from the ones that you don't, and you get it. So, anyway, the problem with this narcissistic relationship and this narcissist and the stuff in you that is sinking is that a lot of your emotional investment is tied up there, and you've got to get it back again. Okay, so the question becomes, how do you get through the grieving process? In other words, in practical terms, what does it look like to metaphorically go to this sinking ship and try to reclaim the treasure? Well, it looks like a lot of thinking about the narcissist. It looks like a lot of feeling the wounds they left, feeling through. It's like you have to bear witness. It's like this relationship and this narcissist and the wounds that they left is like a film that you just have to watch with your eyes open. If you want to reclaim yourself and be able to live as a whole version of you and, keep becoming a wholer version of you, you're going to have to bear as much witness as necessary to the tragedy that befell these ships that you built with your emotional investment. You're going to have to let them sink right before your eyes. You're going to have to let them go, so to speak, because they are just thinking ships. So this leaves one with in a pickle. This leaves one in a pickle where there's a true side to, I don't want to think about the narcissist anymore. It's like, can I please have my emotions back so I can stop watching the film of these ships sinking? Because I've done it a lot and I'm tired of it and it's difficult and it sucks, and I don't want to perpetuate my own misery by replaying the movie again and again. So it's like, that's a real portion of it. The other portion of it is like, complaining that the process is what it needs to be. Maybe you aren't the one replaying the film for yourself. Maybe your psyche isn't done bearing witness in the nuanced, involved way that needs to take place for you to be done revisiting it. I like to think about it this way. You want to be finished revisiting it? Well, there's kind of two ways to think about that. Okay, stop. Well, that's easier said than done. Fine, but that's easier said than done. 2, do it until you're finished. I think a lot of the people who resonate with this video, the problem is going to be that you're not revisiting it well enough. You're not reflecting properly. Maybe it's just rumination or compulsive criticisms of yourself or them. Somehow it's like you need to be watching the film with full intent, but you get distracted and you get caught up in the details, and then you're critiquing the film instead of letting it hit you, which is fine because it might be overwhelming at the moment, so you don't have to watch as much as you think you have to watch. You get what I'm saying? You might also be being hard on yourself. So it's really like slow down, and this is going to sound terrible, but slow down and enjoy the film. You have no choice but to watch these ships sink. So I might offer it in this way. Become sort of like a Buddhist, detached from the narrative of your existence. Enjoy watching this human being go through the building of ships and the sinking of ships and the battling of ships, and it's try to take a step back. And the way that you take a step back, I think, is through proper reflection. That's what taking a step back means. That's what it looks like. So again, I'm back to maybe the reflection upon the narcissist or the relationship or what it's done to you isn't being done properly. Maybe you're trying to do it too much. Maybe you're approaching it from the wrong angle. Maybe you're being too hard on yourself. Maybe, I hesitate to say this, I'm going to try and then see if I need to correct it. Maybe, well, in any case, it is the degree of witness that you are bearing to it isn't sufficient, or you feel that way. So which one is it? Do you feel that you're not bearing enough witness to it, when maybe you actually are, but you're just so unhappy about the rate and the outcome and that you'd rather have it be different, and that's coming out as, I feel like I'm stuck. So maybe you're not stuck. Or maybe you are stuck, and it's like quicksand. The more you flail, the deeper you go, where you've really got to slow down and think this one through. If you're in quicksand, you've really got to slow down as much as possible. Wait. You've got to play the waiting game. There's nothing else for you to do. And in that case, if you imagine that you're in quicksand and maybe it's doomed, then the best you can offer yourself is a kind of Buddhist detachment, like, well, it was nice while it lasted, and I'll play with the sand as much as I can, and I'll enjoy the scenery as I can. And that's kind of that's what needs to happen. This kind of slowing down and bearing better witness, which might happen in a shared experience, working with somebody or just opening up about this stuff in general to get more eyes and ears on it, which in other words means more witness. The only time that fails is if the eyes or the ears aren't really there for it. Like maybe you try to talk about this with so-and-so and they don't really get it or care or something. Or you talk about it with so-and-so and they don't really believe it or understand what you're saying. So not more witness is bared. Although those interactions might teach you that you need to do a better job of bearing witness. Like, get frustrated about how hard it is to bear witness, and then try being a better witness. Talking to somebody who knows more, talking to somebody in a more open way. Be more honest about it. Ask them to help you. Like, hey, can you help me bear witness to this type of thing? You might not say it in that way, but I don't either. I don't talk to people in my personal life like that either. Hey, could you help me hold space for this? That's the kind of stuff I'll say in a session, but anyway. Just imagine all of my friends are also life coaches and we just say, hey, will you help me bear witness and will you help me hold space? Sounds like a paradise or a nightmare. It's interesting because this bearing greater witness, slowing down and reflecting properly, taking time and making space for proper reflection, is, one, exactly what a narcissist never wants you to do. Like, in order for the narcissist to keep the wool pulled over your eyes, you cannot stop to reflect. You cannot bear proper witness. And two, it is the ignoring of red flags that lets a narcissist get away with what they eventually get away with. And the ignoring of red flags is due to a lack of proper reflection and a lack of slowing down to bear proper witness. So, on the one hand, slowing down and bearing proper witness is exactly, it's like the antidote of, I think, interpersonal abuse in general, right? If there is a chance for you to break out of the abuse, it would come from you bearing proper witness to what's taking place, what the other person is doing, how you're responding, so on and so forth. But on top of it being kind of the antidote to narcissism, it's also like how one relieves oneself of trauma is practicing bearing witness to something that, like a narcissist, compels the aversion of your eyes. Trauma is a very difficult thing to look at, to sense, to bear proper witness to, because the reason it's called trauma is because it's something that your psyche can't bear witness to spontaneously. It's too much for the witness of your psyche to bear, so it gets repressed, and then we refer to it as trauma. Think of the typical example of trauma, like war. Somebody's buddies blow up in some foreign land, and then they come home and they have this recurring nightmare. It's a film that's stuck on repeat, and what they have to do is bear full witness to it, because then it wouldn't have to creep around in the background, haunting. It's like the projector is playing flickers of this film that the individual needs to watch but can't, because it's too much, it's overwhelming, the meaninglessness of it. That's what trauma is. Trauma is something that threatens to strip your personality and what you know to be real, your concepts of yourself and others in the world, to pull the curtain away, to rip the fat from the bone, to rip the meat from the bone, to rip the fruit from the seed. All that's left is the root. And that's it's a painful process, which might be why it takes time, because the psyche needs a chance to wrestle with, what the hell do I do with something so meaningless? I invest a lot of emotions into this other human being, for example, the narcissist, then they turn out to be like fake or something. They turn out to be this freak of nature that I didn't know. Oh, that's great. And my psyche's like, what the hell am I supposed to do with that? I didn't see this coming. I never knew this existed. It might need some time to grapple with it. And you've got to help your psyche grapple with it. In other words, like I said earlier, practice bearing witness kind of intentionally. Take the time for proper reflection. Make the time for proper reflection. Try to look at it. Because again, trauma in general, and a narcissist is like a celestial body of trauma, a constellation of trauma. And that's such a literal metaphor. I'm not saying that for exaggeration. That's so much what they are. I won't get into exactly what I mean by that or how it is the case, but they're just this black hole of trauma. But kind of trauma is a black hole. A narcissist is like walking, talking trauma. trauma is this thing that you want to avert your eyes to, but you're not going to get away with averting your eyes and living like a proper full life. You have to look at it. You have to bear witness to it in order to then move on with it as something that happened in your life in a series of other things that happened in your life. Kind of put it on an equal playing field with other things that happen, because as long as it is sunk in, as long as it is in the back pages, as long as it is repressed and haunting you, it's like an empty page in the novel of your life that breaks the story. And you're like an author who's trying to write your life, but this empty couple pages is haunting you. It's like, what the hell do I do with this? It's almost like, one day you're going to have to sell the novel of your life to other people, but they're not going to buy it if like a bunch of pages are missing and there's a break in the story. And what are you going to write? Like, and this is where the narcissist messed with me. But then the rest of the novel is going to be like real and true? No, it has to be some going to the blank pages and either trying to fill them in or trying to absorb what they're hiding from you until it's revealed. Well, that's it, really. You've just got to understand that trauma in general, traumatic experiences, are things that you have to work to get your hand underneath. It's like you're trying to lift up a part of yourself that is below the surface, and that means practicing digging your hands below what you know to be possible. If there is a part of you actually below the surface, that means that you can't see them. That means that you can't hear them. So you've got to do this kind of, and this is kind of what a coaching session or a therapy session is like. It's like this blind, like trying to feel for the part of you that's underneath the surface. And it's like, oh wait, I think I hear them. Oh wait, I think I've got my hand on them. And, all the emotions that come along with this, like, I don't want to have to go deeper, and, I didn't know if I reached this far, my hands would get mucky, and, the reactions to the work, the difficulty of the work is myriad and rather endless, until you feel like you're really getting your hands on it and say, oh my gosh, it's like, it's working. I feel like I'm getting closer to it. And then more of my energy is free. That also sometimes comes along with like more stuff comes up from below. I'm feeling especially emotional this week because of what came up. But this is how you prove that you're there for yourself and that you are going to bear witness to whatever life that you happen to live. Because what else are you going to do in this life other than bear witness to the life that you live? And whether it's in coaching, with friends, in therapy, out of therapy, with yourself, in space, on Earth, you've just got to get good enough. You've just got to work the muscle of bearing proper witness to yourself. That's how you get yourself through life more and more wisely throughout life, is you get to know yourself better kind of by practicing bearing witness to yourself as you navigate life. And then as you navigate life and practice bearing witness to yourself, you get better at navigating life and bearing proper witness to yourself. I hope that made sense. It's kind of like a cyclical thing. And those are maybe the two moving forward things that you do to move forward. You navigate life and you practice bearing witness. And you navigate life and you practice bearing witness. And it's a lot of navigation. And that takes courage, and it takes heart, and persistence, and hard work, and it's a lot of bearing witness, which takes a lot of patience, and a lot of persistence, and a lot of hard work. Speaking of patience, it comes from the Latin root pati, meaning to suffer. It's a little interesting tidbit to end the video with. If you want my help personally, click the first link in the description to schedule a call. Click the second link in the description to take a free narcissistic abuse recovery quiz. Like this video if you do like it. Comment your thoughts or any questions you might have in the comments section. Subscribe if you want to see more. And I will talk to you soon.